Carlo here. Hope you are doing great. So 5 tips for first-time home buyers. So I taught a class the other night, helping home buyers to get ready to buy or to put offers in, all that fun stuff. And someone just asked me, he's like, "What tips do you have for first-time home buyers?" And I'm like, you know what? I've got several tips actually for you. But the main thing is when I did a search online for five, for home, not just five, but home buying tips in general. I thought that they were really, really vague. They just were really vague, and I didn't think that they were really that helpful. And quite honestly, I didn't think a lot of the tips were really that helpful. That's really the main reason why I wanted to record this for you. So whether you are a first-time home buyer and you're interested in buying a home, or you're an agent and you have first-time home buyers, I hope that this video helps you to really just kind of go over a couple things moving forward. So 5 tips for first-time home buyers. Let's get right to it. So the very first thing is, I think it's the one that most lenders don't even start with, which kind of, I don't know, really, I do a lot of head scratching because, before you can get into the numbers and you can get into this and a down payment and then the score, all of that's important. But the very first question that I'd like to know is, what is your why? Why are you interested in buying a home? Like, what's important to you about it? Like, can you just keep renting forever? Or is it because you want to start building your own net worth? You want to start building wealth? You want to have a place to call your own. You want to have a place for your children. You want to have a place to leave them. Why is it important to you? That's the very first thing I would say. Tip number one is, why is owning a home important to you? And also, why is it important to you to look at buying a home now versus 6 months ago? Did something happen? Did something happen? Are you moving? Is the family growing? Did a life situation happen? So I would say the very first thing is to sit down and think for a second, why would you like to own a home? Before you even get into like, well, I don't even know if I could, I don't know about my credit and my income and all that. But the first thing is, why do you want to own a home? It's like, sit down and think about it. Sit down and think about it, because that's something that I think is really, really important. Because here's what I say to a lot of my clients. If you know your why, I can help you buy a home. I can help you buy a home. Just want to figure out, why it's important. So think about that. Number two, know your starting point. Know your starting point no matter where it is. Let me give you a quick analogy. If I wanted to come and visit you and hang out, and I said, hey, you know what? I've got a couple pizzas here and some wings and all this cool stuff, and I want to come over and hang out. And I'm like, hey, how do I get to your house? The very first thing you're going to ask me is, well, Carlo, where are you coming from? Where are you now? So that's the same thing that I do with my clients, is like, in order to help you get from point A to point B, let's say your goal destination is to buy a home. I need to know where you're starting from. I need to know your starting point. And it doesn't matter where you're coming from. I'll figure out the directions to get you over here so we can have a good time and hang out. But I think that that's another thing that a lot of home buyers miss, first-time home buyers, is that they're very reluctant to know where they're starting from. And that's really a disservice to them. So I really encourage you to know where you are, because here's the way I look at it. It's empowering no matter where you're coming from, because knowledge is power. And once you understand that, figure out what your credit score is. Even if you're looking at Credit Karma or some of these other free services, yes, that's correct. It's not the same score that we're looking at as a lender, but it's okay. It's a starting point. Know where your income is. How much money do you have saved up? Maybe you don't have any money saved up. That's okay, but know your starting point. What I mean by that is, look at your income. Look at your income. Have an idea of what your credit score is, and do you have any money that's put aside yet to buy the home? If you don't, that's cool. There's a lot of programs available, but know your starting point. The other thing is that if you decide that you want to do something and it has no date, it's like they say a goal without a date is a dream. A goal without a date is a dream. So if you want to do something, but you haven't picked a date of when you want to make it happen, you're giving yourself time to just say, oh, at some point. But guess what? When that happens, it never gets done, because you haven't put the pressure on to say, you know what, I'm doing it by this date. When you make a decision, you make it real. When you make a decision, you make it real. And when you put a date on it, it becomes, I'm going to use really good grammar, realer. It's realer, right? But it becomes real. Because you're making a decision that you're going to do something, and then you're picking a date of when you want to get it done by. And here's the other suggestion I would make, is that a lot of times when I work with home buyers, is they'll make a decision, but they'll pick a date so far out into the future that subconsciously it puts their mind on default. Because if you say that, hey, I'm going to buy a home 3 years from now, You're just like, I got nothing but time. I got nothing but time. I don't need to start working on that now. No, when I say make a decision and pick a date, say, hey, look, no, I'm making a decision and I'm going to pick a date that I'm going to buy a home this year. I'm going to buy a home this year. I'm going to buy a home in the next 6 months. That's when you're really making it real. And a lot of times, potential home buyers, they make this, they in their mind, they think that it's going to take a lot longer than what it typically does in order to qualify. So they make a decision and they pick a date and they just push it out. So I encourage you to do that. Here's the other one: get pre-approved, not pre-qualified. What's the difference? A pre-qualification basically just means that maybe you had a conversation with the lender, you're talking to them and you're just like, hey, look, this is my credit score, this is my income, what am I pre-qualified for? And they just throw out some random number and they let you know, hey, look, this is what you can probably do. That would be like if you know that your car needs to get fixed and you just call up the mechanic, you're like, hey, listen, it's making noises and I just need to know what's going on. This is my phone, by the way. This is my phone sign. And I don't know what's going on with it. And your mechanic's like, I don't know, man. Might be $500, might be $1,000. I don't know. I'm going to give you a ballpark. That's a pre-qualification. Hasn't looked at your car, doesn't even know what type of car you have, like just doesn't have the right information to serve you. Now, a pre-approval is like driving that car or having it towed if it moves, having your mechanic put it up on the lift, get underneath it, look at everything, and really know what's going on. Like, listen, okay, I have done a thorough look of this car, and this is what's needed in order to fix it, and this is what this is what it's going to cost to do it. That's the difference between getting pre-approved and getting pre-qualified. And so many people are worried about, like, they just go the pre-qualification route. Now, sometimes it's because they're working with a lender that doesn't give them the time of day because they're so busy. They're like, hey, I don't even have time to look at this because you don't even have a ratified contract. You're not even serious about buying it for 2-3 years. But listen, you want to make sure that you're working with a lender that's going to give you their time, that's going to sit there and help you and talk you through it and let you know what's going on. So I would say tip number 4 is absolutely get pre-approved, not pre-qualified. And if you need someone that can walk you through the steps and hold your hand, consider reaching out to me because that is what I'm known for. I'm known for taking the time and getting clients pre-approved and looking at the income, looking at the pay stubs, because everything else is really just a disservice. And a lot of lenders don't take the time to do it because they're just like, you know what? You're not even serious yet. You don't even know when you want to buy. You don't even have a ratified contract, and they just send out pre-approval letters. But let me tell you something. When you go to make an offer on a house, you know who's really, really going to want to make sure that you're pre-approved is the seller of that house. And if you're working with someone that just like, no, they didn't even ask me for any of that stuff. I didn't let them look at my credit, so they just sent me a pre-qualification letter. That seller is not going to accept that offer. They want to make sure that you're going to be good to go. And it's empowering for you as well. All right. So know your whys. Number 1, know your starting point no matter where it is. Make a decision, pick a date, get pre-approved. If you need help with that, reach out to me. And then the other thing is make buying your home the priority and reduce your spending. Make buying your home the priority. What do I mean by that? I mean, if it's possible, maybe you don't buy the car that you really want until after you buy the house. Or maybe if a friend or a family member wants you to co-sign for them and you want to help them and you're just like, listen, buying a home right now is a priority for me. I really want to make that happen. I'd love to co-sign, but I'm not going to do that right now. Or maybe it means that rather than doing something that you want with your tax return or with money that's coming to you, you put it to pay down bills, or you save that money for your down payment. That's the other thing that I would recommend is make it your priority. Reduce the spending. Maybe you can work more, reduce spending, increase income. Just think about that. If it's your top priority, take a picture of a house that you want, put it where you're going to see it every day. Maybe make it a screensaver on your phone, something that you're going to see every day. You're going to pick a date. You know that you're going to make it happen. I'm here to help you with it. And that's when it's going to become a reality because I help renters become homeowners all the time. I love doing it. And it's just magical when you see them get the keys because they go from renting to owning. They join the homeowner club. They do something that maybe they didn't think they were ever going to be able to do, and they're just so excited. And it's just a great feeling. And it's great to see when people realize their dreams of doing it. So again, know your why, know your starting point, no matter where it is. Make a decision, pick a date, get pre-approved, and make buying your home the priority and reduce spending. And I would love the opportunity to help you. Last year, I was able to help 51 families move into homes. This year, my goal is 100, and I would love for you to be one of them. So if you found value in this, depending on where you're seeing this video, if it's on Facebook or YouTube, if you could hit the like button, share it, comment. If you're seeing it on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, support it so that more people see it. And I'm here to help you. That's it for right now. I'm going to put the link to where to contact me. Actually, I'll give it to you right now. If you want to schedule a call with me, a first-time homebuyer consultation, you can go to talktocarlo.com and schedule a call, or you can send me a text, 443-831-8335. Yes, that is my number. So reach out to me. And as always, I totally appreciate you spending a couple minutes with me. Bye for now. Have a great day. See ya.